Hello and welcome back to another day in the woods where I've quite literally just heard a branch fall down. Fortunately, Storm Amy, I believe it's called, has settled down a little bit now. It's not so wild winds and rain, and as you can see, I've already got my gloves on because I've been tidying up the bathroom, ready to crack on with today. Yesterday, was quite happy with the fact, or the last vlog, I was very happy with the fact that we managed to get a lot of the aqua panel up on the walls for the bathroom area, making the odd mistake here and there, which is natural when you're doing this all yourself and you're doing things for the first time, but I've kind of come up with a bit of a way to rectify it and make use of the last aqua panel that I have spare, because I didn't use all of it. I've got one left over. So today my plan is to primarily focus on this purple wall. If I get time after this wall, then I might start on this stud work or even this stud wall behind me. However, to rectify the mistakes I have made on here, primarily to do with my boxes, a couple of things I pointed out yesterday. This box is smaller than this box, and on top of that, this batten that I ran down the middle isn't actually in the middle of the bath. Some people have been asking about these taps. The taps are central to the bath, so that's nice. The mixer's in the middle. However, if you follow the center point of the mixer tap up, you'll notice that the middle is actually here. So the box is slightly over to the left a little bit, which is very annoying. And I know factually that whilst it's not a major issue, it's functional, it works. It's, nice to have a large box and there's more space. In a perfect world, as I mentioned in the last video, I should have just made one large box in the wall. But to rectify what I've done here without tearing the whole wall down and redoing it all, it's just too much work and I don't have the time to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pad this box out to a mark that I have put right there. That'll make both boxes the same size, and it'll put, when I tile over this, if you can imagine all of this tiled all the way up, including inside the box, when it's tiled, you'll never know that this batten is ever so slightly off to the left. Because if I pad this out, I can have one bigger tile down the middle here, which will go in the middle between the mixer. Both boxes will be the same size and they'll be distanced properly and stuff like that. So when you're stood in the shower, it's not annoying that it's ever so slightly off to the left. As I've mentioned many times, it doesn't matter. It's like a personal preference thing, but because obviously I am going to be someone who uses this on a daily basis, it will annoy me when I'm stood here and it's ever so slightly off to the side. It's one of those things that when you do things yourself, people come around. For example, the bungalow that I've renovated, when people come around, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, are you a builder? Have you been doing this for years? It's like, no, I'm not, and thank you. But when I go in there, I see all of the tiny mistakes that I make. And this is just one of those things that, especially because it's a shower, and I do shower every single day. I just don't operate without a shower. Some people shower every other day. I'm a shower every day kind of person, or sometimes twice if I've been working a lot. When I stand in the shower, I just know it's going to bother me. So it's just easier, instead of ripping all the wall down, just to add in another aqua panel bit here, pad it out, and then, when it comes to tiling it, you'll never know. So yeah, that's what we're going to do to fix that wall. This wall here, as I said, I'm going to aqua panel up to the window. After doing some research, to speak to my plasterer, it can be skimmed over, which may defeat the point of aqua panel, but it needs to be primed first. Now, a lot of it that I'm putting up, you're never going to see because the bath's obviously going to cover a lot of it. But rather than me aqua panel out to here and then start plasterboard this little section, it's easier just to aqua panel the whole section, just one sheet that I can cut in increments, panel it all, put aqua panel on the window framing as well, and it's just good to go. Then when I get that decision, when I actually make the decision, whether to tile around the window or just paint it, or like I said, put a wooden sill in that's properly protected, all these things, I know that it's aqua panel behind it that I can, I've got something good to adhere to. Either way, even if it's skimmed, you just prime the wall. I've tiled over plastered walls before. I've had many places, or I know of many places that have just tiled throughout the plaster. So it's not something that is impossible, it's just preferable to have aqua panel. Even this wall, The joints need to be, I need to put jointing tape on the joints and seal the wall. Like it needs tanking, I think is the correct word, because this is still, it's not water resistant, it's moisture resistant. So the idea is you put tanking on to stop the moisture going through and damaging what's behind. Now, obviously, I've got roofing battens that are also already protected, hence the fact that they're blue. But just to stop any moisture and damp behind these panels, I will seal all of the joints and I'll do some tanking, which is essentially like a paint, you just paint it on, to prepare the wall before tiling. Obviously, that's further down the line, but just to query that now because I know people have been asking about it. But yeah, anyways, enough of me rabbiting. Let's get this aqua panelled up and then we can start working on the battens for the rest of the wall. I do apologise, it's going to be fairly repetitive of me because you've seen me do this already. Like, it is going to be fairly repetitive of me just drilling battens onto the wall and then hanging up sheets of plasterboard and stuff. One thing I am going to try to do today is bring up a full sheet of plasterboard. I'm going to try to bring up a full sheet of plasterboard. Whether I can get it up the stairs or not is a different story. It might be a two-person job, but I would like to see if it is possible to get a full sheet up because it will save me a lot of hassle of cutting boards, bringing them up, cutting boards, going up and down stairs like crazy. So yeah, if I can get a full sheet up here, we're on for a winner. I can bring full lengths of batten up here, which are the same length, there's obviously not the same width. But it's a bit of a weird way you have to do it, so yeah. We'll see how we get on. For now, let's get some aqua panel out. Now obviously the process hasn't changed since the last video. I'm still doing exactly the same thing, which is get a measurement of the length of the wall, transfer that to the aqua panel, line up a straight edge, this one's from Wix, nice and easy, sharp Stanley blade, and then you just score the sheet. You can probably get away with scoring it once, but better to be safe than sorry, just give it 2 passes. Doesn't take that much longer. Now that we've got that scored, we just stand the board up. I just give it a little knee to the back. It snaps like so, and then take my Stanley knife and cut from the back end of it. And there you go, that's our first cut. Alright, now that we've got the right width cut, I'm going to cut the height and then pin it to the wall. I didn't actually showcase this in yesterday's vlog, but obviously I've got a factory side here which is nice and smooth. But this is a serve form. It's quite old and it's got a bit of rust on it, but essentially it's just like a cheese grater. And I just run this on this. Run it on the edge to get like a clean surface rather than having like a wobbly bit, because you'll notice that when you snap the boards you'll end up with like hills and valleys and stuff like that. Just run your cheese grater and that's it. We'll be doing the same thing with our plasterboard later on, but that should now slot into there beautifully. Now we just line it up. I have cut the board so it's halfway over the batten, not a full, obviously the full way, because I want to put another board up against it. Make sure this is nice and level. Grab some screws. These are actual aqua panel screws that I've come with the boards. And screw them in. The way I like to do this personally is I just screw in the corners to get it fixed to the wall. Once it's fixed, I get my rule out. Could just use a tape measure, but it's just easier with this. And then I literally just go across and I just mark out every 300, so I get some nice even screws like so. Right, now that I've explained the trivial way to fit aqua panel to the board, obviously I did this in the last vlog, you can always watch that if you would like a more detailed or longer version of it. I'm going to finish paneling up the rest of this window frame. At least I had hoped to. I've done essentially just 4 panels here, up the side, at the top, on the other side, and here. I don't actually have enough left over to do up there and like this side. I don't think this side really matters because the plasterboard will come across here anyway. And I didn't actually have another piece to do the bottom bit there, but as it is already cement down there, cement and brick, with obviously a bit of timber, I'm pretty sure I can just put adhesive on that or whatever I decide to do, whether that is tile or use wood. There's ways for me to fix it to this anyway. So I've left that there. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I think what I probably will do is get another aqua panel for this section. I just think it makes a lot of sense. It's one sheet that will just fit there. It gives me something more structural to run my soil pipe through, which I'm quite happy about. So probably going to get one more panel for that, and I'll probably need an extra panel to do up there. I'm contemplating just like putting plasterboard up there. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think it really matters. I might as well just plasterboard this, and then if I do decide to tile it, like I said before, then I can always prime the plasterboard and stick tile to it. It's not the end of the world if that's the case. But with my flat drill bit, as I don't have, I didn't pick up a new one. We're going to start battening up this wall. I have worked it out that I should have almost exactly enough battens with my offcuts to do all the way up to the corner. I need 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4th one there. And then a 5th one right in the corner. To be honest, I might not even bother doing the 4th one. It's that close to the corner that it's not going to make that much difference anyway. So yeah, let's get these battens put up on the wall. The only difficult part when it comes to plastering it is those pipes, but same story as before. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. Anyways, I'm going to get out a tripod, time lapse this, and start plastering up the wall, which I'm actually quite excited for. I do really want to attempt to bring a sheet up. I don't know how it's going to go. We'll find out after I've got this all sorted. Well, you wouldn't think that would be hot and sweaty work, but it is. All the battens are now on the wall, and I managed to use the same flat-ended drill bit that I have for everything else. Fortunately, that is the last of the SDS drilling. I won't need to drill into any more brick walls until I do another room. Oh, that is a lot of effort, but I'm glad it's done, because when this is all plasterboard, it's gonna look so much better. I, however, most definitely need a bit of fresh air before I start bringing plasterboard up here. Jess was on her lunch break, and while she was on lunch, we tried between the two of us to shift the board up here. Yeah, you can't get a full sheet up here, so I'm gonna have to cut them in half, which isn't the end of the world. Just means more joins and stuff like that, which is one of those. It's going to be very similar to that because they are 1200 in length, and obviously half of a 2400 sheet is 1200, so it's going to be very similar to working with the aqua panels, just slightly bigger and stuff. Annoyingly, it does mean I'm going to have to go up and down the stairs. What I might do is I might just batch cut a bunch of 1200 boards, bring them all upstairs so I can work on them and do it that way. Because I think running up and down the stairs to cut each individual bit I need is going to be a right faff. So there's a nail stuck in the wall. Little nail. Oh, all the same, I'm glad that is now done. This is all the batten I now have left. Some tiny offcuts and this one strip here. I used offcuts at the bottom to join some extra bits. That one split, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's fine. It's not really going to matter too much when it comes to boarding this wall up. As I'm sure you're aware, the weight is spread across. So, right, let's get some plasterboard. The first sheet I'm going to do is going to go from there to this batten here. That is 1200 there. And then obviously, because I've not gone 400 here, it's more like 500-ish. It's a bit more. The next little sliver is going to be obviously that section there. But from this end to that batten, it's obviously not going to be 1200 because the gap here is larger. So it's going to have to go across to the middle of this batten, 1325. As I mentioned in the previous vlog with the aqua panel, it needs to stagger like this. You know how there's no like 4 joins in one spot. So I can't just stack the boards on top of each other and then work from like left to right. It's best to kind of brick lay it so they overlap each other. But as always, we'll start with one board at a time and we'll work little by little. Right, I'm not going to show you the process of cutting all the boards. They're exactly the same as the aqua panel. You just score the front, turn it around, snap it, and cut from the back. But I've got this first sheet up here, and obviously I've got a pipe to account for. So I'm going to mark up with the board in place on the edge here, and then measure across where this cutout needs to be. And super simple stuff. We line up our hole saw, which I move straight away. Drill a hole. Now this board should slot in over that pipe quite nicely. Look at that. Beautiful. And it needs to come across this way. There we go. That pipe is exactly where we want it. Now, it's obviously the hole's a little bit bigger than it probably needs to be, but it's because of these elbows. As they protrude from the wall a bit, the hole needs to be a little bit larger, so it doesn't matter too much. As long as the pipe comes through and I can connect to it, that's perfectly fine. But there is one other thing, if I rotate the camera around over here, because of the way that I have done the windowsill, the upper part of this board needs to be flush with my aqua panel, but the lower part needs to be trimmed off. So if I remove this board back out, you'll see down here that the aqua panel, I went to halfway. I probably shouldn't have gone halfway, but I needed something to fix to, so that's why that is. So I'm going to have to cut a little sliver off the bottom of this. The easiest way to get a neat cut on that without like having to snap the boards and stuff like that is just to use the multi-tool. Multi-tool cuts through this stuff like butter, so makes it much easier to do. It's noisy, but this thing is amazing. I used to cut, like, I used to have a actual blade, like a saw, like a hand saw that used to cut plasterboard with when I lived back at the flat, which feels like forever ago now, and it used to take so much longer. This is so good. Look at that. Nice, neat, easy cut. Takes a bit of getting used to, but once you like learn how to like balance it properly, so good. Right, let's see if we've now got a nice, neat cut on both the end and the hole for the pipe, which we should do. So that looks there. That is nice and flush on the end. I think there's actually just a tiny little bit of cement board sticking out here. That should now go up flush against the window, which it does. And we're bang in the middle of the other board as well. Panel. No, yeah, panel. Batten. Batten's the word I'm looking for. Okay, now we just need to screw it in. Same as before. Same, literally, this is literally the same thing as the aqua panel. I'm going to screw them at the tops, get it all fixed to the wall, go every 300. Job's done. Nice and easy, all screwed in. Somehow I managed to miss a batten. I don't know how that's happened, considering I ran a laser line and I know there's a batten there. So I don't really know what happened, but it's all screwed on, fixed on. Now I'm going to get the next cut. And just to be thorough, even though obviously it's fairly self-explanatory, I will show you how I cut a board. So super quick, I get my measurement over there, transfer it to my board. And then take a straight edge, line it with my marks, like that. Because I don't have a lot of floor space, and this is what I have to do downstairs because I don't have floor space. Cut it white, stood right. Literally just score this side of the panel. Worth mentioning, I got a fresh blade to do this. That's the only thing I will mention about it. Right, board scored. Because it's plasterboard, don't need to score it twice. I mean, you can if you really want to be thorough, but it doesn't really matter. Get behind the board, bit of a knee to it, and then from the paper side of the board, if it is even considered that, take a knife, start at the bottom, And all the way up, cut your board. As simple as that. Oh, bloody hell. I'll drop it and damage the board. We'll pretend like that pit didn't actually happen. Look at how much a difference this is already making. I am very, very happy. Right, I'm going to get these last couple of boards done, and I'm just going to click my fingers and do some magic, as this, as I said, is very repetitive. So how much better does that look? Oh my God, it literally changes the room. I feel like I'm in a new room. Makes me incredibly excited to get it plastered, because when this is all plastered, like the ceiling is, holy smokes, is it going to change this room. This was not as fiddly as it wasn't as bad as the aqua panel. The aqua panel is quite fiddly. This stuff cuts so easily, it's like really good. But I managed to get one sheet and then just cut out the window and slot it straight in. It was a bit finicky with the slope on the ceiling, because as much as, as good as the plasterer is, he's never going to get a perfect laser line across the whole thing. So there were certain sections where the ceiling is like higher, there's like dips and valleys in it, whatever you want to call it. Obviously when he plasters this, I don't actually know what he's going to do with the at the top, because there is obviously like a triangle of empty space, whether that gets silicone corked or he just fills it with plaster. I don't really know what he's going to do. Either way, it's all done and dusted. When he plasters it, you're never going to notice it. And I am so excited. I've been waiting for this day for so long. You have no idea. One thing I've actually just noticed is, have I got enough wood on the end there to hang another sheet on this wall? I don't know. I've been thinking about this wall, by the way. And a part of me is like, add in new uprights and stuff that hit my measurements of 1200 divided by into 400s, etc. 400 centers, 300 centers, whatever it is. These are not either of those things. But because I can't get a full sheet up here anyway, I'm thinking that I'm quite literally just going to measure, say, from here across to the center of this joist, cut a sheet down, pin it, next one, measure, and do it that way. Very similar to this wall, because even though I have centered my battens out at 400, I can't get a full sheet up here anyway. So I'm working with what I've got. I think I've done all right, to be fair. I'm hoping the plasterer is happy with what I've done. Obviously, it all needs jointing, which he'll do. He'll take the joints and then and plaster it. Fingers crossed, either I can time lapse him doing it, or I can kind of linger around whilst he does it, so I absorb what he's doing. But he's coming on a Saturday, which is a filming day for me, so it would it damage the vlogs if I spent the whole day with the plasterer, unless I film around him, which I don't think he'll be too comfortable with. So yeah, baby steps, one thing at a time. Ultimately, I'm just happy that we've got a plasterer out, and it's gonna have we're gonna have a really nice finished room. I've been I don't know what the word is. Optimal is probably not the right word. Maybe it is. Every single time I have an offcut, and I've been going up and down the stairs to cut sheets and bring them up, I have been bringing all of the offcuts as well. So if I forget a ruler downstairs, like a straight edge or like my tape or pencil or something, when I come back up, I bring the excess boards with me. So all of the offcuts end up here, which is where they need to be, which is much more efficient is the right word. I've been very efficient. I have no idea how this vlog is going lengthwise. It's one of those days where I'm bouncing up and down to the office, the garage, whatever, to school runs and so on. So I don't know where we're at for the time of this vlog. I am running out of time in the day to do things, but because it's so easy, touch wood, to hang up plasterboard, and it's something I've done before, I kind of want to plasterboard this wall. It's really not challenging to do this, but I am fully aware that I need to knock this down and rebuild it. And I don't see the point in plasterboarding all the way up to the end if the depth of this wall changes and all that other good stuff, because I need to remind myself how to build a door frame. I mean, this one is hardly a door frame, so I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, this wall needs to come down. So if I start plasterboarding from there all the way across to here, I'm essentially going to be having fresh plasterboard in the same place where I'm about to do demolition, for the lack of a better term. So what might be better is to tackle this wall. What I will do, same thing as I've done there. I may not have showed this in the vlog, but what I actually ended up doing was pinning just a bit of CLS at that height there, and then I could sit my aqua panel on it, so I knew I could screw it in perfectly level. So I might do that again, and I might start boarding from this CLS upwards, and then just leave this bottom section completely bare for me to come back with some aqua panel maybe in the next vlog tomorrow. I don't know what day we're on, but in the next vlog I'll go out, pick some aqua panel up and just finish off that section there. I don't even know if it's necessary. I honestly have no idea what to do. Whether I should just plasterboard it and just skim the whole thing, which is probably fine, to be perfectly honest, or spend more money on aqua panel. The more I'm thinking about it, why should I? What's the point of spending more money when I could just plasterboard it? But we'll see. Anyways, enough yapping from me. I want to see this get plasterboarded, because seeing this is making me very happy, and I'm just excited to get this done. So let's roll the time lapse and see how we get on. Well, it has been a very, very long day, but we have plastered half the room, I guess. It's actually pitch black outside now. The only reason I actually stopped or managed to get this finished in time was for dinner. It's not perfect by any means. Instead of using lots of little bits to put this all together, I used one sheet, as you saw, and just cut out the holes, but I kind of cut at an angle in certain spots with my multi-tool, so it's not pretty. I'm hoping the plasterer can still work with this. I don't see why not. I'm very tempted as well just to get some like plywood and just put some plywood on it for the time being, just to see what it looks like with wooden shelves. But all in all, I am happy with what we've done today. This wall, especially with the new, like around the window wall boxing and stuff, looks so much better. Like, I'm actually very happy with how this has all turned out. And we are only a few days away now from actually getting the plasterer in to plaster this room. So for a third vlog, and I am sorry, I have tried my best through time lapses and like snap transitions and stuff like that, just to focus on getting the job done, so it's not just like plastering every single vlog. But the nature of my day is it just takes time. So yeah, we have got this wall to do, the door frame, and this wall to do. Now, because you have seen me aqua panel and plasterboard now, what I'm going to do is probably focus primarily on just doing the door, and then we'll snap the rest of the room plastered in the next video, so you're not watching the same thing. But man, oh, my body is in bits. Like, my knees hurt from kneeling on the floor, although I did use my kneeling pad as much as possible, but like my elbows from leaning over, my back, my body is just in bits. It's another one of those things where it's like, try my best to get it done, so it's ready in time for the plasterer to come around. I've got one more like full day without the kids to get the rest of this done. Worst case scenario, we get the two main walls plasterboarded, which shouldn't take too long, to be fair, because it's, you know, it's just cutting square boards. There's no weird shapes, with the exception of that, which isn't that difficult, to be honest. But there isn't any like majorly weird shapes. It's just square boards up on the wall, pinned, and it's not too difficult, not too bad. But taking this door frame out and rebuilding it is like quite a task. So yeah, I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest. I need to sit down. I haven't got a break between now and doing that, so I might have to board the walls, and then when I knock that out, just try and do it as tidily as possible. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to have a think about it. But I am going to wrap up today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to all the guys that have been over to my store, orionwhittle.com. Picked up some merch. I think someone literally just bought some merch called John. I could be so far from the mark with that. But if you are someone who has bought something, let me know when you receive it. Take a picture and tag me in it. I would. You can like shoot me Instagram and X. I use both of these on a daily basis. I post to Instagram quite regularly to let you know guys know the vlog's live. I never actually share that I have social media. So if you want to go follow me on either Twitter or X and or Instagram, you can do so there. It's just another way of getting notified that the vlogs are live, but I do post some extra bits on Instagram. I use probably Instagram more than anything else. I don't really post a great deal on Twitter outside of the vlogs being live. But yeah, if you want to take some pictures of yourself in the merch, tag me in them, and I'll feature some in the vlogs, because I'm so gassed that people are liking it, and well, they haven't received it yet, so I don't know if they like it, but the fact that the people are buying it is a good indication. So thank you very much for supporting me and my family and the things that we are doing. Again, shout out to the guys over on Patreon. As always, you guys are legends, and I will see you guys after a very good night's sleep and rest. Oh, we have got quite the day ahead of us. Peace, much love. Bye-bye.